Good day YouTube. This is just a bit of a comparison video between MX Linux on the left and Xubuntu 20.10 on the right. So grab your stein of coffee and let's get started. Okay, so starting off, MX Linux on the left, you'll notice it doesn't have any hint of a name version in there. In fact, as it's a bit of a rolling release or a semi-rolling release, as some people call it there. And on the right-hand side, we've got Xubuntu 20.10, which is really probably a good reason to match these two up, is they both are actually running on the XFCE desktop environment there. But if we just have look at a few things here, we've got some really basic file managers there. They are both a little bit more lightweight in nature. In fact, on the left you'll see, and the right, they're both actually Thunar, the file manager there, or the Windows manager, depending on how you'd like to name that. But if we get into it a little bit further, we'll actually see a few little bit of specs and pieces there. The kernel is actually a great deal more newer on the on Xubuntu, which is interesting enough to see, but this is actually based on Debian. Debian's stable Linux MX or MX Linux, so it is actually a little bit more old school like that anyway. But really the full purpose for this video is to have a look at the CPU and the RAM utilization, just to get a bit of a baseline feel to see how much you've got left over for all your special little apps there that I know you guys love so much. And starting off, the CPU usage for both of them, we're mostly idling out, doing pretty okay, but I wouldn't use that as a recommendation for scientific testing purposes right now. However, moving on to the RAM, so we'll see a few key differences here, perhaps, let's say. So running at about 440 megabytes of RAM straight off the bat on boot up, so nothing else is booted in the background, just except, of course, for the operating system needed to run. And then on the right-hand side, we've got 498 or 500 megabytes RAM, so you're looking at an additional 50-60 megabytes of RAM for Xubuntu 20.10, which is perhaps, let's say, not quite overly optimized there. We can see that we're only running on 128 threads on the left-hand side for MX Linux and 160 on the right. Probably a lot to do with the later kernel, the later software in a way. So although this is a rolling release on the left-hand side, doesn't necessarily mean it's the latest and greatest, purely because it's based on Debian Stable, which is a very stable operating system. It still gets all the security updates, they both do, but I guess that's just the way that it is. But thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I hope to see you guys there in the next one. Cheers.